What's up, everybody? This is Steve Sterlacci. I just wanted to hop on here, do a little amp modeling talk. If it's your first time here on the channel, that's pretty much what I do. I do all sorts of amp modeling stuff, Helix, Fractal, now Kemper. I just got Headrush, Quad Cortex, Tonemaster Pro. I've got all of them because I have problems. And I also wanted to announce that I'm going to be starting a amp modeling podcast. So if you're interested in amp modeling, it's going to be non-specific to any brand. It's going to be guests. I'm going to have a lot of my friends in the industry use digital amp modeling, whether it be Loadbox, Fractal, Helix, Kemper, whatever it is. It's not going to be closed off to anybody. Anybody in any unit can be a guest on it. So I'm probably going to get that going in the next couple of months. Hopefully sooner. I've got to still figure out all the logistics of how to do it, but I think I'm going to call it the Silent Stage Podcast. And we're going to talk all things amp modeling with all pros and other content creators that you all watch and get your content from when it comes to your modeler. So that should be fun. Let me know what you think of that idea in the comments below. One thing I've been thinking about lately is, why do I have all of these, first of all? And what is it that would make me choose one over the other? And what would I ultimately choose to be my rig for 2024? So I also make my living as a touring guitar player, and I travel, 4 or 5 months out of the year playing all around the world, and I'm often flying, so I usually need something small and compact, something repeatable, something that's easy and convenient. So that's why I always chose to take the modeling route. And I was always a Helix guy. Helix was my first dive into modeling. Since 2017, I've been a Helix user, and I got a lot of Helix content on the channel. And that's kind of how I started on YouTube also. So Helix and Line 6 will always have a place in my heart. I took the Stomp XL on my last few tours and really dug the size form factor. I've really gone towards being simple and not using a ton of snapshots or not using a ton of scenes on the other units. And I'm really going for core tones with a few pedals. And that's kind of been my mentality as far as gigging goes lately. So a few things have changed big time in the last few months, at least. Let's talk about Fractal for a second, because Fractal firmware 6 for the FM9, that's what I have. I have the FM9, and firmware 6 just introduced seamless everything, which I think is an absolute game changer. And now the guys at Fractal, man, do they sleep? It feels like Fractal comes out with a new update every few weeks, and they're always good. It's never like just a quick bug fix or just a quick thing, just a quick update. It's always like, no, here's more great stuff. And you've got to tip your hat to them. They bust their butts on this stuff. And I can't believe that they not only gave you seamless channel switching. So I've done in the past a Helix versus Fractal comparison. And one of the big points I had against Fractal was that it couldn't do the amp parameters changing. Yes, you could do parameter controls. Yes, I know all that. I'm just looking for easier solutions that are a little bit more widespread than just the capabilities of the Fractal before this firmware. And now you can get 4 channels of the same amp, all seamless. You can now change presets seamless. Like, they didn't only just fix the channel gap, they went ahead and fixed the preset gap. So now whenever you open up a new preset, you're getting seamless switching, which I always said if Fractal could pull off, they would be the number one. And right now, I mean, I do think that they are. There's really no one that can touch Fractal when it comes to the amount of updates and the quality of it. They're really, really tough to beat. The only way that they're beat is if you're into amp capturing and if you want small and compact. So despite I think the FM3 is too small for me personally. So even an FM3 and an FM6 and a 6-foot controller is still going to be about this size of the FM9. And this is quite substantial. It's quite heavy. This is not going to fit in a small backpack. So as far as travel rig goes, it's travel friendly, but I wouldn't say it's the best solution for travel when you compare it to, HXXL or even the Quad Cortex. But as far as tones, flexibility, and just overall great product, I think the FM9 is honestly untouchable across the board. Now let's talk a little bit about Quad Cortex. Quad Cortex, I have a love-hate relationship with Neural and with Quad Cortex. I was very critical of them at first. They really promised a lot in the beginning, and then it was kind of like, well, it made me not want to use it just because I was like, they said it was going to do this, and I bought it for XYZ reasons, and I still can't. So that made me very resistant to using it, even though it always sounded great and it was always very capable. They have really actually done a pretty good job of keeping it up to date and introducing new stuff. I think 2024 is finally going to be the year that the Quad Cortex gets to that level, that potential that it's had from day one, but it just seems like has been really slowly developed, but hopefully slowly and surely developed, and it's not going to be a bunch of bugs when all the stuff comes out. Like right now, Neural is importing the plugin compatibility, so you're going to be able to use the famous Neural DSP plugins in your Quad Cortex. I think we're also going to see a bunch of different and cool quality of life updates from the Quad Cortex. It seems like they are learning and they are hearing the community. They are hearing people like me complain, and they're doing a good job of getting things done and making this thing a more universal and more capable player. Unfortunately, they still can't fix the power supply issue, which will remain, I guess, in its existence. I would say Helix, Fractal, and Quad Cortex are always competing for the top spot right now as far as the amp modeling, capturing world. Obviously, Quad Cortex is the only one that could do amp captures. The other one that could do amp captures is the Kemper. I just got the Kemper player, and I just got on loan from my buddy Ryan a full Kemper toaster that I'm going to be making some profiles. I've got my 63 Bassman. I just got a Sur SL67, Soldano SLO30, matchless DC30, Black Star back there. So I've got a lot of cool amps that I'm looking forward to capturing or profiling and putting them in the Kemper and really exploring what that Kemper player could do, because that thing, being so small, is really appealing, and it's a very simple footprint and a very simple signal chain, which is exactly what I've been going for. And I've been seeing guys attach the player to the Morningstar MC6 MIDI controller and having an insanely good rig just from one tiny little setup, which is very appealing to me as well. The other captor is the Headrush Prime, which has been sitting collecting dust for a long time for me. I've had a bunch of people comment that they want more Headrush Prime content from me, and I apologize for the delay in that, but it's just not as inspiring to me right now. The touchscreen's amazing. It sounds pretty good. I like the new captures, but it's not as fun to use a unit when it's never being updated and it doesn't feel like the company's actually paying attention to it. I think it's only had 1 or 2 updates since I've owned it over a year. And that's definitely something that doesn't give me a vote of confidence. Like if I want to invest a lot of time into learning, building, and focusing on, I want to know that the unit's going to be supported and built to last for a long time, which I don't know. Should I bring out the Headrush? Maybe I've underused the Headrush and I've underestimated it. Maybe I should pull that out and do a couple videos with it. But it can do the capturing, which is awesome, and I think puts it ahead of the next competitor, which is the Toemaster Pro. Toemaster Pro, still in its infancy, still brand new, and going back to Quad Cortex, very critical of it in its early stages. Trust me, I crapped on the Quad Cortex for a long time. And not that I'm trying to crap on the Toemaster Pro, but I'm just trying to be honest in where it stands relative to the competition. And still right now, I mean, yeah, it's in its first year, but still, I don't think it competes at a high enough level yet to take it over for me. But a lot of people are loving it, and people love all these units. I mean, there's definitely no one better unit than the other, but there's definitely a right unit for each person. And right now, the Toemaster Pro doesn't do it for me. They just did the switch linking, which I think it's a cool start, but it still doesn't do exactly what I need when it comes to my pedal switching. And I still don't like that you are stuck with one signal chain and you're not able to do 2 rows, so you have to swipe to see the rest of your signal chain. Just stuff like that makes it not interesting to me, makes me not want to use it. So all that being said, there's also a new wave of amp companies putting load boxes into their amps, like the Black Star St. James back there. I was at the Bad Cat booth at NAMM, and they're doing a little lunchbox head with a built-in 2 notes. 2 tube amps and load boxes seems to be where amp manufacturers are heading, because they are fully aware that the modeling company are probably killing them. And a lot of people want smaller, travel-friendly, going direct solutions. So I think we're going to see a lot more amp manufacturers going with a built-in IR. I know I saw the Soldano, I think it was X66 or whatever it was at NAMM, the rack mount preamp that comes with IRs built into it, so you can do the load box thing and go direct with a Soldano. I'd love to check that out. And Rev has been coming out with products, amps that have the 2 nodes built into it. And I think those are always going to have a place, because there's always going to be the people that say that they're tubes for life and that nothing can replace a real tube amp. So they're going to have a home with these load box options that are all coming out too. Man, it is a great time to be a guitar player, wouldn't you say? We are so spoiled with options right now, and everything, I think, has the ability to sound great. And as far as my rig for 2024, I am still undecided, but make sure you keep up with the channel and see what I wind up taking on tour when we head out. But yeah, I guess that's the end of my rant. So if you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and keep an eye out for that podcast.